What is going on, everybody? How are we doing today? This is United vs. Everybody. I am your host, Sean, and this is the Manchester United News Roundup. If you haven't noticed, not wearing a jersey today. Back-to-back clients this afternoon. Literally just got done with the client, but you guys know I had to stop in, get your thoughts on some of the latest and greatest Manchester United news. So that's what we're doing today. Got a lot to talk about, I guess. A little, but a lot to say about it, I guess, if that makes better sense. But that's what we're going to do because I want to hear your guys' thoughts. We're talking Sancho. We're talking players going on loan. United getting some more money here and there. We're talking about all of it. Got a little bit of goalkeeper updates as well for you. And then don't forget, tomorrow, match preview. Our first match preview of the 25-26 season. We'll be doing that. It is United hosting Arsenal at Old Trafford this weekend. We are doing the match preview of that tomorrow. So be sure to stop by for that. I want your thoughts on that. Who's going to be in the starting 11? What the score is going to be? What can we expect to see? Who are you looking for? We're talking all that tomorrow. But tonight, Man United News Roundup. So make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Make sure that you check those memberships to learn how you can get even more involved in the content we put out on the channel. So all that. Go check out the UVE store. Tons of stuff in there, as you guys know. And also, go check out GoGoalShop. You guys know that GoGoalShop is where I get a lot of shirts now. Super cheap. Excellent quality. Literally as close as the real deal as I've ever seen. And they hooked me up with that code. You guys can get $5 off. And they do have, I just checked today, they do have the third kit, the black one that just dropped this week. It is available now. I know some of you don't like it, but hey, at least it's not Man City's third kit. Look at that fucking disgusting disaster. What is that clusterfuck of color and contrast? What is that? Oh, man. It looks like a 1998 iMac threw up on it. Like, what is that? Those are raindrops, y'all. What it looks like? What is this? An album cover for Enya? Why are there raindrops all over this shit? Oh my god, this is like a spa. Like, what the hell, man? This is like a soothing waterfall that you keep on the desk of a corner office in some high rise. Anyway, it is disgusting. If I'm City, I'm super pissed at Puma because they just keep drilling out these nasty kits. But anyway, yes. Even if you don't like this year's third, just remind yourself it could be worse. It could be Man City's third. So hope you guys are doing well. Again, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's get stuck in. First and foremost, you guys know I got to check and see who's jumping in on the chat. Casper, there's a name I haven't seen in a while. Good to see you, my friend. Due to subscribe mode only being switched on now, no longer to comment. Does that mean you're not subscribed? That hurts my feelings, but hey, it is what it is. Do what you got to do, man. I don't know what you mean by due to the internet stuff going on. You tell me. Is something happening on the internet that I don't know about? But if subscriber mode being on, I mean, I don't think it's on right now, but if that's been on and that's been an issue for you, I mean, I don't know why. Hey, more power to you. Do what you got to do, but we will be sad to see you go. Wish you all the best. Danny B in the house. Hope you're doing well, my friend. You working today? You off? Let me know what's going on. Are you procrastinating by watching this? But please, yes, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. We are on the road to 3K, and every little bit helps. Every little like, every little subscribe, every little notification bell does help the channel reach new people. It helps that UVE community grow, which we love to see. I love connecting with new people about United. And more channels, more fan content from United based is not the worst thing. Oh boy, who do we got in here this time? Justin popping in the chat.
Oh yeah!
How you going, man? It's been a gross day here, man. Just busy. Went to some farmers markets this morning. Got a couple things. Got myself some perch fillet, which I'm excited to cook up. Got some smoked lake trout dip. I've been munching on that all afternoon. Got a big ass watermelon as well. So we are all set on the farmers market today. Had a nice little date with the wife this morning, which with everything being so busy, it is important to do that. It doesn't always have to be date night. I know everyone likes we're going on date night. Sometimes it's date breakfast. Sometimes it's date walks. Sometimes it's date lunch. It's whatever works for you guys in your schedule, as long as you're making time for it. So, but big up everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. You guys are funny. Danny got done early. Yeah, oh, too hot. I know it's supposed to be a little cooler here this week now, but I mean, it's relative in it. I mean, cooler than 95 doesn't exactly feel very good. I've said many times, I can't stand summer. It's too hot, dude. I can always put more clothes on if it's winter and I'm cold. I can only take so many clothes off in the summer before people start looking at me weird. Like, it just is what it is. So, but thankfully, Casper says YouTube being hit with age verification stuff going. Need to put it. Oh, I got you. No, I hear it, man. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. Um, but we're happy to hear you, man. Just get involved while you're here, man. We love you, Casper. Good to see you again, my friend. Been too long. So, quick update. So, a lot of you, when we did the video yesterday, we did the roundup. A lot of you were probably watching some of the under 21s match against Tamford in the National League Cup. I did put a link to that in the community tab because Enterprise National League YouTube channel is kind enough to stream all those matches free. So anytime I see one of those and there's a link to it, I will post that for you guys. But those of us who were watching it did see that right before halftime, United were defending a corner and Sekou Kone, little clash of heads. Tamworth player came from behind, knocked him out. Looked a little shaky. Definitely looked like he got his bell rung a little bit. Ended up being on the pitch for about 15 minutes. There were stretchers involved. He was taken off, and then they actually abandoned the match, I guess, because it was halftime when we went live yesterday because of the delay. So update, though, from the club today. Don't know if you guys saw this, but Sekou Kone, after he sustained a head injury in tonight's National League Cup game, he was conscious yesterday, stable, communicating with the medical team, taken to hospital as a precaution for further checks. So looks like he's fine. Definitely probably a little bit of a minor concussion protocol going on there. When you don't see the contact coming and it's a head contact, it's always going to be pretty sketchy. His neck kind of whipped a little bit, and obviously it's a head injury, so it's not fun. I mean, I've had my bell rung, and I've just done it like where I've taken a header and just didn't catch it on the right spot of my head. You want to catch those headers kind of here. I caught mine in the temple, and I was definitely not feeling great the rest of that day. So it is what it is. I do love the headers, though. I definitely love getting on the end of those. It is what it is. Justin knows. Justin and I play all the time. Yeah, it was Northville Farmers Market, man. They moved it, though, because they pretty much ripped up where it used to be. They're turning it into like condos. So now it's further. It's just off of Northville Road on 7 Mile. So, dude, I don't blame you, Casper, taking a break from the news. It's definitely sketch, man, the news these days. The news is basically there to peddle fear, not to get too conspiracy. But the news, when is the last time you saw anything positive in the news? It's always this shitty thing's happening. These people are doing this. These people are killing these people. Like, and I'm not trying to just ignore the fact that there's stuff going on and there's tragedies, but the news is just fear, man. So, but yeah, man, we miss you, man. We miss you too. If honestly, dude, if the subscriber only mode is what's keeping you from here's Casper, I will never click it again, dude. More, I promise you that. So Sekou Kone up and running, doing his thing. Sounds like just a bit of that concussion protocol, though it did look a bit sketchy. Apparently, Benjamin Sesko played in a training match this week against the U21s, kind of like a scrimmage. Do they call it scrimmage in the UK? We call it scrimmage here, but I guess you can call it training match. But this was at Carrington, so it does look like he's getting a little bit of touches in. Whether or not that means he might be ready for this weekend, that's going to depend on Amorim and Sesko's fitness. Some managers these days can be a little bit of a stickler when it comes to, nope, you need to be getting down my system. You need this many weeks in my system training before I can continue. I mean, Ten Hag did that. Jose did that. Jose would not. Remember when we signed Mkhitaryan? How long was it before Mkhitaryan started getting some regular minutes? Casemiro, not get, like, people thought like, oh, McTominay's keeping him out of the team. It had nothing to do with McTominay being better. It had everything to do with Casemiro coming mid-August, no preseason, and Ten Hag being almost legalistic when it came to how much time you're supposed to have on the pitch in this system. Like, Ten Hag, I think that was definitely a flaw, but that being said, I got no problem with Ten Hag personally. From what I hear, he's actually a pretty funny guy. So, Rob in the house, big up, man. Yes, hit those hit those subscribe button. Appreciate that, you guys. We're on the road to 3K. And like I said, go check out GoGoalShop. The third kit is available in there now. The authentic version is not there, but they do have the replica version, which is, it's only like $25. So, and if you use the code, it'll only cost you $20. So, just saying. So, piggybacking off of the news we got yesterday regarding Coca-Cola as the new partner of United for the 3 years, The club announced another new partnership today, this time with a company called Sokin, which apparently is a UK fintech company. I don't know what fintech company, but basically what it sounds like is this company handles like financial transactions for businesses and whatnot. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to be some sort of financial expert. I'm not going to pretend to be up with the technological stuff when it comes to this. I don't even use Venmo. That's how friggin' old I am. Justin can attest to this too. I have my wife do Venmo stuff because I don't understand it. My wife did an online order for Chick-fil-A once. I rolled up to them to get it, and they got mad at me because I didn't realize that I had to scan a QR code. I had never scanned a QR code in my life until that point, and that was literally a year ago. So, if ever you feel a little technologically just like struggling, just remember you're not as bad as I am because I don't do any of that shit. So apparently Sokin, so they are now our official global business payment solutions partner. I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means. I'm not gonna lie. I've never heard of this company before. Obviously, it's not in the circles that I consider as part of my day-to-day functioning. I don't need business payment solutions. But according to Lori Whitwell, the club is also going to announce one more major partnership along with the Sokin and along with Coca-Cola. So we're set to do another one. Remember, Sir Jim, when he did the Carrington ribbon cutting, the newly renovated Carrington, go check out the photos from that. It looks lit AF, as the kids say. But that made me feel really weird saying that. I don't know what part of that made me feel weird, the lit or the AF. We're just never gonna do that again. But apparently, if you remember, Sir Jim name dropped Coca-Cola in that ribbon cutting, and he also name dropped Apple. So could we be set for a big surprise? I don't know, probably not, but it would be pretty cool. Lloyd Whitwell also added that Mark Armstrong, who is our new CBO, remember the guy we grabbed from PSG, whose job is to establish new partnerships globally and things like that. But apparently, according to Lloyd Whitwell, Mark Armstrong has actually helped us generate $70 million in sponsorships in just the 5 months he's been here. That's insane. Like, talk about best in class. Dude, well done. You get a golf clap for that. I'm telling you, if you're good at your job, it will make a difference. And this guy's good at his job. I mean, the last decade has been the exact opposite. Here we got like Coca-Cola and Ed Woodward's out here getting a cup of noodles and all this fucking bullshit. Like, night and day difference here. Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm excited for that alone. So Casper says thanks for keeping me in chat. I appreciate you, Casper. We love you, man. Let's see. Rob says Shesko seems ready to go than a chubby Casemiro. I will not have any Casemiro slander. Casemiro just got baby fat. Like, it is what it is. I've seen photos of him without his shirt, not like that. This is a family show, but the dude's ripped. Like, he's just ripped. He's just got baby fat in his cheeks. It happens sometimes. I'm not gonna diss him for that. Big up, Bexy. How are you doing? Says no Sancho testimonial or statue at Old Trafford. The man deserves a badge of honor, at least. Does he though, Bexy? Does he really deserve? I'll let you all handle that one. Big up, Lucky. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you're doing well, Lucky. Gary in the house, as always. Hope Gary's doing well. Good to see everybody. Make sure you're liking the video. How about that Super Cup? I know some of you were watching the Super Cup the other day, and I did put a poll in the chat. Was that yesterday? I didn't watch it. Obviously, we were live, but apparently Spurs lost it, which, I mean, this is my surprise face. Yeah, no, like, did we think that was going to happen? It's PS fucking G. Like, come on. But I did put a poll in the chat to see maybe in an alternate universe, had United won the Europa League final and played PSG, what do you think would have happened? Would we have beaten PSG? Would we have lost? Would it have been a draw? So far, 50% of you think that we would have beaten them. You guys, I like the positivity. I like the energy. So that's funny. We know Rob is the EAFC scout over here. If you ain't good in AFC, Rob ain't buying it. Like, so yeah, Sancho's overall and his potential definitely going to go down. So, but let me know your thoughts on this Mark Armstrong character, the guy we got from PSG. Remember, we did a little bit of a deep dive on him when we were signing him. According to Lloyd Whitwell, has generated $70 million in partnerships in just 5 months when he's been here. Coca-Cola, now Sokin as well. That's a big deal. I like what I'm seeing. And supposedly, according to Lloyd Whitwell, we have a third partnership set to be announced sometime soon. I don't know what that could be. Maybe it's Apple. Sir Jim did mention Apple alongside Coca-Cola in that ribbon cutting. So One can hope, but I just hope if it's Apple, they don't shove all United's matches on Apple TV because I'm gonna have to get Apple TV again. But it's a whole thing. I only got it because there was like a free 3 month trial a while back, so I just binged Ted Lasso again. But you guys ever watch that show Silo? That show is legit too, though. So yeah, dude, I agree. Bexy, has Sancho been the worst signing in the last 5 years? You could even go far back as maybe 10 years, if I'm being honest, in terms of just how much we paid for him, how much we paid him, the complete lack of output, his attitude, behavior, all that stuff. Any metric you want to stack up, like he's probably among the worst, if I'm honest. Like I would take Dan James over Jadon Sancho just for the effort alone. Like I don't care if Dan James isn't as techie. I don't care if he's not as like good. Doesn't matter how good you are if you don't apply yourself, it's wasted, and that's to me is very, very frustrating, man. So Bexy wants to know how many wins United will get in the first 5 games. Let her know, man. Let us know what y'all think. We're gonna do a whole thing. So when the transfer window wraps up, Dylan and I, and maybe other people, if we want to get more people involved, we will do a whole transfer window rating / season predictions video. You guys know we like to do that kind of stuff. So make sure to come back for that. I'll let you know when it's coming back around, but we will definitely do that. Gary, just keeping that legend status going. Big up, Gary, throwing another super chat in there. Are we finally on the verge of getting rid of the disease that is Sancho? This is the best transfer of the window. I mean, you could be right, man. You definitely could be right. It's a big deal getting some of these players out the door, and we know that that's not only is that something that we've needed to do at the club for a while, right? Because we've got up until this summer we had Jose Mourinho players still. We still have Louis van Gaal players at this club when you look like Luke Shaw. But we know that Amorim does that. He doesn't like egos, and it's not like, oh, I don't like someone like Zlatan. Zlatan's an ego. It's if you're not putting the club, the team first, if you're not putting 100% of everything into this team, we can't have that in the dressing room. And we've seen him do that with all sorts of players. Now, Sancho was already gone when he got here, so who knows? I think maybe the club itself may be just done with Sancho. Maybe Sancho's just done with United. I don't know. That kid deflects blame like he's blocking incoming arrows or something playing Skyrim. The guy's just, nothing is ever his fault. Dude has zero self-awareness, zero humility. Everything is everyone else's fault. He's the scapegoat. I can't deal with people like that. I have no patience for people like that. If I saw Sancho, I would just tell him to grow the fuck up and fuck off. That's all. I don't care where you go. Just go. I don't need that shit in my life at my club. But big up, Gary, man. Absolute legend, dude. Appreciate that. We do have a rough first 5 games. We'll talk a little bit more about that in that season prediction video because I don't want to say make or break because that is a tough run of games, but it's just sometimes the circumstances are what they are, and falling behind minimal points the first 5 games, that's a big hill to climb already. You're not going to win the game, the league, the first 5 games, but you definitely could run the risk of not winning the league at all. So Rob says we need them out. Can't have 10 out of 10 without them gone. Yeah, and that you guys voted that a couple weeks back. What was the biggest thing we needed to do? And you guys all voted that clearing the deadwood was your biggest priority going into this summer. And I have to say, I think I agree. Any way you want to look at it, whether that's, like I said, toxic personalities, whether it's wages, whether it's just bloated squad, any of that we needed to get done. And I'm happy to say that it's looking like, I wish we were a little better at getting some money for some of these players. I'm tired of the loans. I'm sick and tired of the loans. Everybody we're trying to get rid of, bar Garnacho, has literally just spent majority, if not like 6 months of the last season on loan. Nobody exercised the option to buy, and we're stuck with him still. Thankfully, Rashford's gone and his wages are being taken care of. I would love to see the same thing happen with someone like Sancho. If we can get Garnacho out of here, that to me is Baleba as good as a done deal, in my opinion. But it's interesting stuff. So Gary says, I've supported this club 37 years. Sancho is by far the worst and most undeserving player to ever wear this jersey. Interesting. I mean, I totally agree. Oh, I see that Middlesbrough are about to sign Sfera Nipan on loan from Man City. Interesting stuff. Big up Gamer TV. Indy Kayla update. Where is there an Indy Kayla update? I will be the judge of this. Let me see. I'm gonna vet this. Hold on, you guys. We got to stop here. Could maybe be an Indy Kayla update. Let's see what we got here. Um, there's so update but no update. So yeah, I mean, Indy Kayla says all we can say is Carlos Baleba held one meeting with Brighton. Meeting was at 5 p.m. No further information. So update, but also no update. These guys are milking it. But big up Gamer TV. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Lucky says United and Brighton are in direct contacts. Yeah, I've seen a lot of talk today. Nothing. It's nothing that we haven't already, I guess, heard. People are just kind of saying it in a different way, I guess, if that makes sense. And so I don't think anything's really been advanced. I think this feels a lot like the Gyökeres thing. We're constantly talking, which is normal. I don't really feel like there's a need for Romano to just say every single day like we're in constant. We know we're in constant contact. That's how transfer dealings work. Like that's just the way it is. It's just kind of, again, it's an update without actually updating. So we'll see. Bexy says Rashford needs someone to say he's responsible for his life. Rashford needs to surround himself with some better people, and he needs to just, again, humble himself, have a little bit of self-awareness. It's just some of these wingers are weird. Gary says Baleba is happening. Well, there you go. Put some money on that. I mean, you can take that to the bank if Gary said it. I like that. The guy's been here 37 years supporting this club, almost as old as I am. Gary, you've been supporting the club almost as old as I've been alive. So kudos to you, man. What was your first kind of earliest recollection of United? My first recollection of United, I actually got this before because I got this when I was like 8 years old, this jersey next to me. So I had no idea. I just played soccer when I was little. I say soccer because in America, that's what we call it. Played footy when I was little. Started that when I was like 5 or 6, and then got this, and it is what it is. So, but I love seeing the older generation. Big up, Gamer. I'm good, dude. I hope you're doing well. It's hot today in Michigan, but it's summer. That's the way we roll here. We don't do in-betweens here in Michigan. It's freezing in the winter. It's hot in the summer, and that's just the way it is, dude. So, Bexy thinks United will get it done, but they should walk away and get Wharton as a plan B. There are a lot of midfielders out there. We've gone through them a couple times, and I'll throw out another one today. There's not a scout report, but I just got another one as we're talking about. So good to see us getting some more partnerships. We got one more coming. Mark Armstrong raising $70 million in revenue so far from that alone, which is huge. So whenever people are wondering how we get this done, when you've got Forest fans out here complaining that we're not getting like penalized, like we're raising money. It's not our fault that you guys aren't selling anybody for a lot of money. Like we are raising money. It is what it is. So what you gonna do? Gamers hype for the Arsenal game. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll be doing the Arsenal preview. Obviously it looks a little different than a normal preview because it's just been preseason. Can't take too much from preseason, but it'd mostly be about what we want to see from the starting 11 and things like that, and what we can take from what we've seen in preseason so far, if anything. So, Robs is a Welsh fan. Giggsy took me to Man United. He never left, so I stayed. Well, I love the loyalty. Giggsy was actually my favorite player. Still is my favorite player. There's a Giggsy jersey up this way. If you guys can't see it, maybe I'll move him around sometimes so you guys can shake things up a little bit. But yeah, he's my favorite player. I loved watching Giggsy play. And the guy just, at his pomp, Giggsy he looked like he was ice skating and everyone else was just struggling to stay upright when Giggsy was on a full-on run. That goal against Arsenal in the FA Cup semifinal was a thing of beauty. The guy scored in literally every season he played, bar his final one, where he was player manager for four matches. He's such a good player. I love Giggs. So, yeah, I think it will be a good game, Bexy. All right, let's move on here. Talking about this Arsenal match, we got a little bit of a fitness update, maybe coming from Rob Dawson. Now, Rob Dawson with ESPN FC, take it with a grain of salt. We know that they've got a little bit of an agenda against United, but who doesn't? He claims that Andre Onana is fully fit and is now up to Ruben Amorim to decide if he'll get the nod against Arsenal this weekend. Matches on Sunday. I really hope not. I mean, honestly, Tom Heaton, I would put him in goal, honestly. I don't trust Bindier. I think that he just doesn't have the stat. Like he just doesn't. He's just not that level. I don't think he can handle it. I don't think Bindier is all that great, honestly. But Onana though, I can't even I can't deal with Onana anymore. I just can't. It's got so bad. I expect at least to concede one goal per match simply because of an Onana error. It's like I already go into the match giving the other team a goal to start. He's a handicap for us. He just is. It's like we got to spot him a goal. Really, they should be spotting us a goal to make up for it. It's so bad. And even if he's fit, even if the whole hamstring thing wasn't a big deal, hasn't stopped the goalkeeper links. I really don't think that honestly there's a whole lot in the Donnarumma stuff. We know we've heard a lot of sources, a lot of the main sources say that we weren't really interested. Some sources are saying it's an option. It's always to me felt a little bit like agent talk. The link though to Sen Lamens have gone a bit quiet until today because Ben Jacobs claims that as far as goalkeepers go, Sen Lamens is the one the United is looking to bring in if we end up getting a goalkeeper this summer. Now, it doesn't mean he's here to replace Onana. If Bindier goes, I think that we'll probably bring in Sen Lamens and have him kind of rotate in and out. I think if you start him in a couple cup matches or something and he does well, then it's Onana's spot to win back at that point. I'm fully behind Sen Lamens. You guys saw the last week when I put up all of Donnarumma's percentiles over the last 4 years and compared them to Sen Lamens this past year, which he was one of the best shot stoppers in Europe. Donnarumma just fell behind in so many metrics. Like it's just, I'm not saying Donnarumma's bad. Is he better than Onana? Yeah. Would I pick Donnarumma over Sen Lamens? No, I wouldn't. I don't want to pay him what he wants per week. He's already on 250K, going up to 300K with bonuses. I'm just not a fan. I think Sen Lamens has a way higher ceiling than Onana. I think he's got a way higher ceiling than Donnarumma as well. But that's just my opinion. I put up the numbers to show you why I feel that way. Y'all pick what you want to pick. I'm not ever going to tell anybody what to think. So Casper's still hoping Donnarumma. I'll back him. Like he's better than Onana. It is what it is. But if we're looking at keepers, Sen Lamens I think is just better, and he's half the price any way you slice it. So wages, fee. Got longevity. He's got a higher ceiling, like I think he said. So, Gamer says, I see Sully talks is also reiterating club to club talks. I hope it happens. I really do. I just don't. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little callous. I just don't consider the constant like, oh, United are in constant talk. The clubs are talking. Yeah, that's just how transfers work. So I don't really consider that an update. It's good to know. I think it will get done. I do think that the sooner we can get Garnacho out of here or Sancho out of here, I think the sooner you'll see that happen. I'd still want a goalkeeper as well, but if we get a goalkeeper and Baleba as well, like that's crazy, dude. Rob, what do you got for me? My dad, who isn't a football fan, said, how come he has so much time on the ball? Answer, because of his ability and speed with the ball. You know a player is good when they look like they're slow on the ball, but yet everybody else still looks slower than them, if that makes sense. Like when it looks like you've got time and space on the ball, it's because you're good. Giggsy was class, just absolute class. I think it's an absolute travesty that someone like John Terry's in the Premier League Hall of Fame and Giggsy doesn't even get a sniff. Absolutely a fucking scandal. It should literally just be called the Ryan Giggs Premier League Hall of Fame. Like this is ridiculous. But it is what it is. I don't want to get into it. Everybody's got their own thoughts. I don't want to start a whole thing. I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, but it is what it is. I think some people want to ignore the facts, but it is what it is, man. Danny says Lamens is the way to go, even if we loan him back just to get it done. That's what I've said for almost like over a month now, Danny. Just like what Liverpool did with Marmardaashvili, who was like roughly the same age as Lamens is. Get him just to have him and then loan him back. I don't care. As long as you have him. It's like playing fantasy football and getting a player that you know other people want, that you might not even want, but you just have him. So nobody else gets him. I just want him. So it's getting awkward. Gamer says, Lamens for me is perfect. I don't think Onana leaves because he'll get Mbumo and Baleba mercy. So it's, yeah, if we're just keeping Onana around to basically just keep this Cameroonian contingency intact, then Although it would be kind of crazy if we used him to get some of these players and then we were just like, all right, you can fuck off now. Don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you, as we say here. Rob says, which goalkeeper plays against Arsenal? Worth a poll? We'll probably do that tomorrow in the match preview. Just because we're going to be talking all about the Arsenal match tomorrow. So we'll probably do that tomorrow. So be sure to come back. I want to get everyone's thoughts in there. We'll do a couple polls and just to see which, if you want me to, if you ask me, I mean, we can throw it on there today if you want, but sounds like one for tomorrow. But I like the ideas. Gary says, Donnarumma going to see. How many keepers do Man City want? They just brought back James Trafford. Ederson is still there. Like, why would James Trafford go there and then City buy Donnarumma? Why would you get I just don't get it, man. I thought for sure he could definitely go to Chelsea. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. How old is Manuel Neuer? I mean, Donnarumma could definitely go to Bayern. Damn it, he's probably 10 years younger than Manuel Neuer is by now. Oh boy. Yeah, I got time for Sully Talks. I'm not saying Sully Talks isn't a reliable source. I'm saying that specific update to me just isn't really an update, if that makes sense. But it is what it is. Casper says about a bit of a situation of Bayern and Onana staying. Getting Donnarumma to coming in, don't think Lennon Miller. Oh, yeah. I saw Lennon Miller linked to like some clubs in Serie A, Bologna and whatnot. So let's see. Yeah, y'all can. Yes, I don't know if Carson is still there, honestly. Big up, Rich. Good to see you again, my friend. Talking a little United news. Just wrapping up some here on the goalkeeper front because the Sen Lamens links have popped back up again, this time from Ben Jacobs. So, but I'll put that in the chat since we're talking about it. So almost 60% of you think we would have beaten PSG. I like the positivity. I don't know if I necessarily agree, but it's not my channel. It's y'all's channel. Donnarumma or Lamens. I'm going to put it in here and see what y'all think. Y'all can let me know what you think. Throw down on that poll. So, Onana potentially fit. We will see what happens. You guys get involved in the chat. Let me know what keeper you're looking at, and then I'll check it again in a little bit. So, on the outgoing front, we got a little bit to talk about in that regard. Some potential news there. Now, obviously, you saw the thumbnail, so you kind of know where I'm going with this. But this coming from Fabrizio Romano, and it has to do with Jadon Sancho. So it's gone a bit quiet on the Jadon Sancho front since Juventus made Chico Conceição's loan a permanent move. Remember, they were struggling with that. He was their first choice. Reportedly, Sancho was the backup. Take the hint, Sancho. But gone quiet on that front. Besiktas reportedly put a bid in for him. He doesn't really want to go there. It is what it is. But now it does look like a move to Italy could still be on for Jadon Sancho. According to Fabrizio Romano, AS Roma submitted an official bid to Manchester United to sign Jadon Sancho. Permanent move for £20 million offered, while the club's also open to a loan with a buy clause. I'm done with the loan to buys. Just take him, please. You're getting him for peanuts compared to what we paid for him. I don't even know if he's worth 20, but just go, dude. Just go. Reportedly, from some of the outlets, personal terms aren't an issue. I've seen some people say personal terms are not agreed. It is what it is. United and Roma need to figure out a fee here. According to David Ornstein, the bulk of the offer from Roma is a fixed upfront fee, which is pretty normal, inclusive of add-ons, but he does say it is going to be a tricky deal to complete. Alfredo Pedulla reckons a deal could be finalized in a matter of hours. Again, all sorts of conflicting reports. Some say personal terms aren't agreed. Some say they are. Some say it's upfront fee. Clubs need to talk. Pedulla saying it could be finalized in a matter of hours. I have not. £20 million. Are you guys okay with that for Jadon Sancho? I would maybe just straight swap him for Manu Kone personally, because I think Manu Kone is an excellent midfielder. I think he might be going elsewhere though, but do you guys want more? Or you just want him out of here? 20 million? Would you take it? We already got 5 million for Chelsea from him because they paid us for him not to be there anymore. Take the hint, Sancho. We got bonuses from Dortmund who couldn't afford it, and I don't think going back to Dortmund for a third time would be a very good look for him, but the way he's been acting has also not been a good look for him. So Rich says just get the contract off the books. Yeah, I'm about that. I mean, it's kind of like Anthony. We're not ever really going to make anything off of that. We had to know that when we signed Sancho in the first place. What was the plan for 300K a week, 85 million? Like it was only ever one option, and that was we're never going to see that money again. Like period. It just is what it is. It is what it is. Rob says we'd all take the 20. It's how awkward he wants to be. Yeah, he can make it awkward. He can dig his heel in. He can do whatever he's got to do. He can go rot in the resis for all I care. It is what it is. Now, him rotting in the resis hurts us a little worse than Garnacho because Sancho is on like 5 times a week more than Garnacho is. So that is a bit of a hit. But Gary is sick of these broke-ass bum clubs looking for players for nothing. Buy them or fuck off. Yeah, take the hint too, Real Betis. I see you, Real Betis. You lost Isco. You want Anthony. Quit twerking for Anthony and just pony up, man. Eventually, I'm not gonna make that joke. It was offensive. I caught myself. I'm not gonna do it. So, Daddy says proper prick Sancho. Yeah, I mean, I'll let y'all do that. Agile welcome says, why would anyone want to buy and put up with Sancho? You're always going to get those clubs, those managers who think it's kind of like someone dating another person that they know is just it's not going to go well. Like the person's just toxic or they're selfish. There's always that person who thinks, so I'll change them. It'll be different. Like it wasn't different at City. It wasn't different from the English God. It wasn't different for Dortmund. It wasn't different for Chelsea. It wasn't different for United. At some point, I agree with you. At some point, when do clubs start looking at the common denominator and say, Sancho, you got a bit of an attitude problem, brother. Like, what are you doing? Like, show some humility, show some self-awareness, keep your head down, keep your mouth shut, do your talking on the pitch, maybe just deactivate all your socials for a hot second, stay off Instagram, and just get your head down and play. That's your job, man, as Roy Keane would say. Gamer TV says United need to hurry the fuck up, accepting 20 million. I mean, Sancho's got to want to go though as well. I mean, Besiktas could have offered us 200 million. If he didn't want to go to Besiktas, he wasn't going to go to Besiktas. So players do get a say, but it would be nice just to get him off the books. Now, Roma is that, I mean, Sancho could literally go to Roma for like a year and still get a move in a year after that if he wanted to. Like it could happen. It just depends. He needs to get back to playing football basically because he's not doing a whole lot of that these days. But Andreas, welcome back. Andreas Franzen, get him out. He's a big crybaby. He's a scapegoat. Remember, use it right. He's a scapegoat. He's not a crybaby. He's a scapegoat. You know, he's a fluffy barnyard animal. When I was, did you guys ever think that it was actually a scapegoat and not scapegoat? When I was younger, I thought it was a scapegoat. Yeah, I was a stupid little child, as most of us were. Children are dumb. What are you guys saying in the chat here? Donnarumma or Lamens? 82% of you are going with Lamens. 18% are going with Donnarumma. All right, keep getting involved in that poll. I'll keep that up for a little while longer. Casper says, Sancho, just go to Roma. Get Anthony out. Kingsley Coman signs for Al Nassr. Oh, did he? So that's probably Anthony not going to Al Nassr then. I think Anthony will go to Real Betis, whether that happens soon or like the final day of the window. No idea. But 20 million, does that seem like fine for you guys? We did get some money from Chelsea, so maybe you could call it 25 million. We got bonuses from when he was at Dortmund on loan, if you remember that, because they kept going. They got to the Champions League final. There were bonuses in there for appearances and whatnot. So we did get a little. It wasn't a lot. It was probably like £2 or £3 million. But still, kind of jumps it up to like 28 million if you want to look at that. Really, it's about the math at that point, right? That's what the cognitive dissonance in my mind is trying to tell me. So, where did it go wrong for Sancho at United, though? Where do you guys think? Was it just never going to work out from the get-go? Did something happen? Did he just I guess revert to type when things just didn't start going his way, and the same shit he was pulling everywhere he was doing again? What do you guys think was maybe the biggest kind of factor in all that? Because everybody's got a different. There are people who think United is still the problem and Sancho was in the right the whole time. There are people who still think Ten Hag was a bully. One of my first videos on this channel was literally, is Erik Ten Hag a bully? no, like, no spoilers. You can go watch it. It's embarrassed. The thumbnail is embarrassing, and it's done a long time ago. So this was before the ring light. This was before the fancy camera. I had a camera sitting way over there, so I'm sitting like this the whole time talking. It don't. Second thought, don't go watch it. It's ridiculous. But where do you think it went wrong for Sancho? I want to know what you guys think. Rob said, I read that he wants compensation for his final year of salary from us. Does he not know how transfers work? If you force a move or something and you leave, you don't. That's not how it works. If I'm getting paid 100K a year at a job and I want to go, like, and it's not working out and they want me gone and I want to leave and I want to take another job, I don't just get to say, well, this job offering me 75K. I want someone to pay me that 25K a week. That's not how it works. It's just not how it works, man. These freaking spoiled ass English wingers, man, they need to grow some fucking balls and just own up to it, dude. Mark says Højlund will win the Ballon d'Or now. I want what you've been drinking today. Let me know what it is, Mark. Welcome though. Gary says, I agree. Any club manager that buys Sancho deserves everything they get. I think it's just destined to fail. The problem, until Sancho can get to that point where he can just hold his hands up, grow, like, exercise a little bit of humility, some self-awareness, and just take it and just grow up, dude. That's all you got to do is grow up. And I don't know what it is. I'm not trying to be xenophobic. It's literally just these English wingers, the Raheem Sterlings, the Jack Grealish, the Marcus Rashford, the Jadon Sanchos. They're just not as good as they think they are, and they're not as good as the English media will hype them up. And I'm just on all four of them have literally had some issues, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's ridiculous. Bexy says, think United need to get tough now. Bad apples should literally be rooted out, fined, and put on individualized training plans. I've said many times before, man, my petty ass would have just been like, if I'm the club, I'd terminate Sancho's contract publicly. I'd tell him exactly why. Like, we don't want his toxicity in around the dressing room. Best of luck to you. And just let it be that. Like, it is what it is. It's not slander. It's not breaking. And we're just like, you know what? We're done with you. We're actually going to make the decision for you. We're done. We don't care about your contract getting fee for you. We just want you out of here. Like, literally, give him $5 million on the way out as compensation. Chelsea can pay to get rid of him. So can we. What do we got here? Agile says he just hasn't grown up. He acts like a 13-year-old. I can sympathize a little bit to an extent, because you see this a lot with celebrities, whether it's actors, musicians, like the Michael Jackson springs to mind. At such a young age, you're thrown into a grown-up world, an adult situation. You're removed from your friends and family. You're basically the only people you have around you at that point. If you're at an academy and stuff, are teammates. You're learning how to be an adult from coaches or your teammates, which not the greatest source. And you have to grow up. You don't really get to have a normal childhood in many, many ways. And you're given, if you're lucky, if you're extremely lucky, when you're like 16, 17, 18, 19, you're given the world. You get signed your professional contract. You're on big wages. You probably get handed way too much than is really healthy and wise for you to get at such a young age. And what are you supposed to know how to do with it? You didn't get to develop properly as a child, just in a normal childhood. And now you've got all this new stuff. And I can sympathize to that degree. But at the same time, these players got to grow up. There's no reason like a 27-year-old Jack Grealish should be getting carried out of a freaking party by his teammates because he's that hammered, like a college freshman at their first kegger. Like, grow up. Like, and I think the issue with me with that is it makes me feel old that I'm saying that to these guys, and that's such a pet peeve of mine. When people put me in situations where I have to feel old, I don't like it. But I do think they need to grow up a little bit. Gary says, imagine being bullied by someone with a boiled egg. Oh, I'm not here for the Ten Hag talk, man. That's rude. Oh boy. Thank you, Rob. Yes, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, you guys. We're on the road to 3K. We're getting there. Every little bit helps. Every little like, every little subscribe does help the channel grow, reach more people, grow the community, get everybody else involved. Casper says Sancho needs to start taking his career seriously. I like him. Don't know what's up with him most of the time. He needs to stay off social media. He needs to get his head down and work. It's very simple. And so it is what it is. Now, Roma. So Fabrizio Romano also claims that Roma are looking at Leon Bailey, Aston Villa winger. Now he claims that Roma want both Sancho and Leon Bailey. It's not one or the other like Juve did with Conceição. So Roma really trying to maybe revamp their attack a little bit. I don't know what Villa are doing potentially selling Leon Bailey. They already have a very light attack. Remember, all these players they got were on like loan, and none of them are there. You can't afford to let go of another attacker, like especially with PSR stuff. You need to keep these guys. Now it depends on what fee they get from. I really liked Leon Bailey when he was at Leverkusen. I thought he was an excellent winger. I thought he would have been perfect for us. Alas, it didn't work. But I worry about Aston Villa if they don't figure shit out because they're about to get cooked. Ejo says Mount also saying to the press that he's going to prove the doubters wrong. Well, again, this is great to do this. Like I said with Luke Shaw, like I said, everybody, it's great to do this. If you couldn't talk though, how would I be able to tell that you mean what you say? Do your talking on the fucking pitch. That's what we want from you. That's all we've ever asked from you guys as United supporters. Show up, perform, play for the badge, play for the fans, play for the club, play for each other, for fuck's sake. Like, that's all I feel like that's a very bare minimum of what we ask from these players. Just play for the badge. Just give a shit. Give half a shit for some of these players. I don't ask for much. I don't need you to be the very best player in the world. I don't need you to score 50 goals. Just fucking play for the badge. I keep it very minimal with my expectations. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe this club has just desensitized me, but I'm like, I don't care about you proving the doubters wrong. Just fucking go do it and quit talking about it, man. Agile says, I thought the Bailey is a done deal Newcastle. There was links. Again, just telling you what Romano said. Roma want both, and we'll see what happens there. Roma could, I think if Roma sell Manu Kone, that's a bit of change. Again, I would take Manu Kone in a straight swap for Sancho. He's an excellent midfielder. But on your Mount comment, I think you weren't dissing or anything. You're just saying, but if Mount can stay fit, he's a good player for us. I think he takes a lot of boxes. He's physical. He gets around the pitch. He has he's got a good shot on him. He scored a couple of like carbon copy of that goal he scored in the friendly. He scored that in the Europa League last year too. If he can stay fit, the problem is he can't stay fit. And so it is what it is. He's like Luke Shaw in the sense I can't count on him. I can't plan a tactic or like a structure or any long-term like roadmap for this club with Mount as a consideration because more often than not, he's not going to be fit. It just is what it is. So if there's any part of Amorim's tactics that revolve around or depend on Mason Mount, we got to not do that. If he's fit, play him, but we can't plan on that. It'll throw everything out the window. So yeah, I did see that Jacob Ramsey. Remember when he was a beast a couple years ago? Kind of not saying he's bad, but he came out of nowhere and took the Premier League by storm a few years back and gone a bit quiet recently. So it is what it is. But it is what it is. Lucky says Adam Wharton, Baleba in. I do like me some Adam Wharton. They're very different, both of them. Wharton is definitely he's definitely got that passing range, and Baleba's definitely got that physicality and that movement. So if you can get both of those players in your midfield, you're cooking for the next decade. That would be ideal, and I think that would be a cheat code in many regards. But Wharton's assists in the Community Shield, I forget who scored the goal, was a perfectly weighted pass, like great pass. Like I didn't realize Wharton had that in his locker because I don't watch a ton of Crystal Palace, and then he was injured a lot, so it just is what it is. But speaking of midfielders, though, Toby Collier, I'm going to take Sancho off the screen because I'm done with you, bro. Toby Collier is in advanced talks to join West Brom on a season-long loan after it looks like the loan to Hull City sort of fell through. It doesn't look like maybe he wants to go to Hull City, but according to Laurie Whitwell, a host of championship clubs were interested in Toby Collier, but apparently he has chosen to go to West Brom. I think Ryan Mason is their manager now, and so could help us a little bit. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about a fee or anything, so we'll see. He can't be on that much wages, so it's not like it's going to make a difference. But does that free up a midfield spot for a new signing? Eriksson left for free, so that's one midfielder down. Collier gone now, another one down. Casemiro can't hang against high energy midfield opposition. Ugarte really just suited for those midfield scraps, those oppositions where you just want to win that physical battle in midfield, winning that ball back as much as you can. Cobby, great player, high potential, should probably be considered a rotation option at the moment. So I don't really depend on Cobby week in, week out, because he shouldn't be playing week in, week out. Bruno, solid, not a natural 6. He does play more of an 8 in this system, kind of a box-to-box kind of playmaker role, which he's very good at. But this isn't 4-3-3 like Portugal, where he's got that security of a deeper player and another 8 beside him. He's the only he's one part of a midfield 2, really. And so he can't just roam anywhere he wants to, even if he's good at it. Baleba, man, I mean, if we're talking to Brighton constantly, club to club this, club to club that, if personal terms are reportedly agreed, if your agent's willing to take lower the commission to make it happen, it's time for you, Baleba, to put a little pressure on Brighton, submit an official transfer request, just get it done. Like, you just have to. Like, like I want Baleba so badly. Like, I'll do a lot to get this over the line. Like, I will. Like, more than I would do for Hackney. You guys know I was on Hackney permanent watch, only because I didn't think Baleba or someone like Wharton were ever going to be a realistic option. But the moment we decided to say, fuck it, open that new line of credit, get rid of some players, the possibilities are endless now. Who cares? Let's go get Fede Valverde while we're at it. Fuck it. Go get him. Pick up. ITN, welcome back. Big up, brother. Your knowledge is appreciated. Thank you. Keep helping us all. Well, I appreciate that, man. Again, this is y'all's channel. I just throw out the topics. I want to hear you guys' thoughts, but I do appreciate that, man. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Appreciate that. Bexy thinks Baleba is still a risk. Let me know why. I always want to know why people think the way they think when it comes to those kind of opinions. I'm not saying you're wrong. I need to know why, though, because you say that. You have something in your mind for the reasons why you say that. I read that, and I'm like, I don't know what he means. So, or she. Don't know if you're a boy or a girl. But let me know what you think. I think Baleba ticks a lot of boxes. He's still young, 21. If he can just become a little bit more consistent with the passing range, I think you've got an excellent player. I hear an ice cream truck and just started salivating. Pavlovian response to ice cream. Because Baleba has pass in his locker. We've seen it happen. He's very press resistant. He's very physical. He's excellent on the ball. Good at driving that ball up the pitch. If he can just start upping and leveling up that passing a little bit, I don't need him to play like Trivelas, like Modric. I don't need to see him put things on a dime like Bruno does. I just need to see a little bit more of that passing range, and then I will be like, okay, but he's young and he's got time. So, but let me know what you think that, Bexy. Let me know what you guys think on Baleba. I want to know what's everyone's saying about this Donnarumma. So 3/4 of you think Lamens is the way to go. Hey, the eyes have it. So, what else we got here? Bexy says, because it's a big step up from Brighton, United can crush you. It's a possibility. It is. It definitely is. I mean, we've seen it happen to some players. Basuma struggled at Spurs. Caicedo struggled a bit to start at Chelsea. It is what it is. Yes, you're absolutely right. You know, United is not Brighton. Brighton is not United. But I think that he's in a culture now where there's a lot going on. He's got Cameroonian teammates there. I think that does make a big difference. It is a bit rough if you come in and you're like the only Cameroonian. I get that. There's other African players in the side as well. Not saying they're all the same. I'm just saying, you know, there's a little bit of universality there to some extent. So, Casper says, Hayden Hackney, don't know where he's going yet. Not Ipswich now. I want Baleba. Hope we sign him. Well, you're in good company because that's what most of us seem to want. Danny, hope your ears are perking up because I know you mentioned this guy the other day and he just happened to pop up in the news today. So I've seen reports that United have sent scout Alexander Torres to a recent match. I think it was a Copa de Brazil match between Fluminense and Internacional to scout young striker Ricardo Matias. This kid has been called the next Robert Lewandowski. 3 goals in 7 Serie A matches so far this season. So he's having a bit of a barnstorm of a season. Now, 2 of those goals were against Red Bull Bragantino. So brace, but already kind of having an explosive season. He's still just, what is he, 18, 19, I think. Seems like he's still being used a bit as a sub, which makes sense. He's a young player, but I've looked at his match numbers. I've looked every time he starts, his match rating is high. He gets involved. He gets goals. When he's using as a sub, he doesn't have a whole lot of time to impact the match. But I think it's time to take off the training wheels, Fluminense, if you're listening, because when he's playing, he's performing. Excellent dual win rate. Possession won in the final third is good. Loads of touches in the box, et cetera, et cetera. It is a small sample size because it's only like less than 300 minutes so far. But I like what I see so far. Reportedly has a 56 million pound release clause, I think is what I've read. So it kind of feels a little bit. Remember that summer when you had like Vitor Roque and Marcos Leonardo, and who's the other one? Endrick. All three of these guys, these young Brazilians, were kind of feels very similar to that in a little bit. The next young guy, everyone's scrambling to get him. Now we did just sign that young striker, that French striker Enzo, right? Is that what his name is? He immediately went on loan to Lausanne Sport, the Swiss club owned by Ineos. We also still have Cheeto, who probably needs to spend a little bit more time with the academy. Personally, he's not ready yet. So I like looking at young players. I do. We've been linked to a lot of them recently from a lot of different Premier League academies. This guy we've apparently been scouting. So interesting stuff here. So big up, Jarvis. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you went on holiday recently, right? Where did you go again? Let me know how that was, man. You might still be on holiday. I thought you were in a different location yesterday. Never get players of Italy. People always say that. I'm trying to think of what players we've got from Italy. That Darmian, I don't know. Tonali did fine other than the whole gambling shit, but Danny says he's very much like Isak in my opinion. Yeah, I've just seen him called the next Robert Lewandowski. I think it was in a couple of newspaper articles that I was looking at earlier today. He's 19. There it is. Big up. Agile says, how much would Giovanni Fabian from... I don't even know who that is, man. I'm going to have to go look that up. So, interesting. ITN says, Baleba is arriving, guys. Trust me. All right. There you have it. Gary said it. ITN says it. I'm going to start calling you ITN squared because I like math. As long as we get Garnacho Sancho out, the culture is changing slightly. But Amorim is a dead man walking. Well, you ended it on that dark note, man. I was with you, and then you like built me up, and then you just broke me down there. The first 5 matches are tough, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a couple weeks when we wrap up the transfer window and give our predictions, Dylan and I. But it's a tough one. He's got a lot of good players now. He's had his preseason. I don't think it's as dire as some people say, but I do think if we're anywhere near bottom half of the table by Christmas and it just doesn't seem like it's very positive, the results aren't coming, we're struggling, I think we'll have another conversation then. But he deserves some time. Let him get some time. If we can't sit here and say these players need time and then not give them time, I think the managers deserve it too. So barring any craziness, I think it's going to be rough. Jarvis is in Greece. Nice. I've always wanted to go to Greece, man. It's one of those places. It's on my bucket list. Australia used to be on my bucket list. So was Africa, until I found out all the animals in both those places that can straight up unalive you. And so I was like, you know what? I'm good. I can download a screensaver or something, and that's good enough for me. I just like different cultures, different foods and things. So I do like experimenting with those kind of things. So I do like traveling too. So there also is that. But big up, Jarvis, man. Thank you for joining me while you're on holiday. Appreciate the love, my friend. But safe travels whenever you come home, man. Hope you're enjoying yourself. You did look pretty tan on your stream last night. So, and big up the grind doing the stream while you're in Greece, man. That's dedication, Holmes. Casper says, if I'm not back after tonight, I hope to be back at some point in the future once all this YouTube stuff calms down. Well, we love having you, Casper. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. If they're trying to get your information, I don't know what to do with that. But YouTube, leave Casper alone. So, Danny, let us know what you think about this Ricardo Matthias kid. I'm going to look a little bit more at him. Maybe I'll do a scouting report. I do have a whole nother scouting report video. I've technically got 2 ready to go. I've got a whole batch of young center backs that we can talk about at some point. And then I've got another handful of just random positions. I've got right backs, I've got strikers, I've got a young goalkeeper in there. So I've got a couple of young scouting report videos that we can do. Those are locked and loaded, ready to go whenever the news is slow or whenever I've got some more time. So keep a lookout for that. That is pretty much the news. Let me get caught up on the chat because you guys know I like to hear what you guys. ITN says Amorim deserves no time. Uh-oh. He's incapable of dealing with what he got when he arrived. He does not understand that the league finish is his responsibility. I agree with you in parts of it. I don't know if any manager would have come in and done a whole lot. I mean, 6 other managers have failed since Ferguson, and I think that a lot of what ownership and what guys like Ed Woodward have done have really just dug us into a hole in terms of club culture and toxicity. They've not made it a solid environment. Even Sir Jim said in one of his early interviews, like, the environment in the last decade has made it so it's impossible for any manager to succeed. And I think that was one of the first things we tried to do, was just reset the culture. Amorim is on thin ice for a lot of us, and we know that. I think what we need to do now, in my opinion, instead of bashing him every time something goes wrong, just, again, like any player, we hold them to a high standard. We can be critical, but at the same time, you want to back them. You want them to improve. You want them to make better decisions. You want them to score those goals. That's all we can do, and that's our responsibility as fans as well. They need support. We got to be the 12th man. So Danny says, get him, loan him back. That's the Danny South American Scout seal of approval, if I've ever seen it, man. So I got me convinced. No, it's true. I mean, it's very true. But is that enough? Is that the thing we do? I mean, we've had managers get relegated in the past. I mean, some of us might not have been old enough to have seen that, but it has happened. So I'm not going to freak out. Last season was last season. Amorim knows what he's got to do. Amorim knows that it wasn't good enough. The players know it wasn't good enough. We know it wasn't good enough. Let's draw a line under it. We'll hold him to a high standard. We will demand more. We'll be critical. But at the end of the day, I think our job is to back the players, back the manager. Like I said, we can have expectations. We can be critical. But that's our job. We have a role to play in this as well. And so I think it's helpful to remind ourselves of that sometimes. Our role is to be supportive. We don't always have to agree. We can criticize. It's like being in a relationship. You don't the love's always there. You can be critical, you can demand better in some instances, but at the end of the day, you got to love, you got to support. It's the way it is. So hopefully we can do that. So everybody, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Be sure to come back tomorrow. We will be previewing the Arsenal match. I did tell you the third kit is now available on GoGoalShop. Use the code in the link in the video description to go get $5 off. You can get the third kit. They have all 3 kits now. So go get that if you want to. If you don't want a kit, you want to instead go get some one-of-a-kind swag, check out the UVE store. Tons of designs in there, super cheap. You guys know that I do love getting some of that stuff when the sales rolled around. So check it out. The stuff is sweet. I think Danny's got a couple things. Dylan's got a couple things. You guys have seen me rock the UVE gear. So they got the green and gold, the Mboom shirt, the class of 92 shirt. It's all in there. Make sure you hit that notification bell too, so you don't miss out on the video tomorrow. Until next time, you guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. I will see you guys on the next one. And thank you guys for stopping by. Really good discussion, and I'm really happy with it. So I love having these conversations with you guys. So take it easy, and I will talk to you later. Bye.